Sweet. Okay.
Are you recording this video or no?
Yeah, I just started the recording right now.
Okay.
So let's see. Everybody, welcome Nick. Thanks for joining the group.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. So we start with a prayer. So Nick, do you want to offer the prayer?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for this day. We're so thankful for this wonderful opportunity to get our education. We're so thankful to be together in this group and talk about our case studies and learn more from each other. Please bless us with thy spirit that we may be able to learn more and know the things that we need to know. I want to say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Okay. So there were some parts that I feel like I understood and some parts that I don't feel like I understood super well, but I tried to get the valuation charts all made up.
Yeah,
So,
I also had a hard time trying to figure out, as far as the math more than anything else. But I know it had to do with two parts. It was they could go with regular angel investing or whatever,
yeah.
which would carry what was it? She would have to sacrifice some of her equity in the company. And the other one had to do with getting what convertible debt, which I understood it to be pretty much a loan. You know,
Yeah.
they give you money and then you pay it back, and with a discount rate, which is pretty much the interest, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Kind of.
Or am I missing something?
The convertible debt is like initially you get a loan, but then let's say for example in this one you get a $50,000 loan from the angel investor. So that means they have no equity in the company. But then as soon as the company gets like another series of investment, like so in this one, once it gets to $300,000 of investment, then that loan amount converts into equity.
The 100,000 turns into equity.
The 50,000, yeah, it turns into equity of some amount. At least that's how I understood the convertible debt.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, so the person who gets the money still is going to have a piece of the whole business.
All it is when they take, they'll basically give the company money, and then it's usually when they can't agree on a valuation, and then when they finally do the first round of valuations, like with the first round of investing, they'll, instead of them receiving money, they'll just receive stock.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So they get money, and in return they get stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of just did a bunch of different tables on Excel to kind of help me understand this. I don't know if you guys did the same thing, but I'll share mine real quick. So for each question, I just had like what was happening with each one. So like it said initially she invested $1,000 of her own money and gave herself 100,000 shares.
Mm-hmm.
That means so dollar per share amount was a penny. She owned 100% of the company, obviously, and there's 100,000 shares. And then part 1.2 or 1B talks about how an angel investor will invest $50,000 at 50 cents per share. So if you do that just kind of math right there, then that means he's going to receive 100,000 shares, or he's investing that much into the company, which bumps the total shares to 200,000. So now they own 50% each. Does that make sense? Is that right?
Yeah.
So like, so if there's like a other like, so this you have this one investor. So if C wanted more investor, let's say like it says like C gonna have like more like a $200,000 investment later. So you're gonna receive that money from like let's say some other investors. So is he gonna like create more shares for them, or how is that gonna work?
Yeah, you just kind of create shares out of thin air, and essentially
Really?
it's just like it's a way to show that you have a chunk of ownership in this company.
Mm-hmm. So when she does that, like she just like creates like a shares out of thin air. So does that degrade the value of her share? Like since she has like a 50% share right now, will that decrease that or like or not?
What was that? Does it like increase the value of her shares?
Or like does it increase the value of her share or decrease the value of her share?
So in this case, it would because originally she only had $1,000 invested in the company. Now her company is kind of like essentially worth 5,100. So her investment was 1,000. So then the total value of the company is 5,100 or 51,000. So now that means her per share, because she has 50% of the value of the company. So it's pretty much 50 cents per share, right? So she went from each share being like a penny to now her each share is worth 50 cents, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, she pretty much gained a lot of money by having that investor show up, because she only invested $1,000, but now she has a bigger chunk of the company.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see. What was the next one? So create a capitalization table for home plate, assuming that the angel investor invests $50,000 at $2 per share. So that's right here. So again, this was assuming that it's $50 cents per share. If it's $2 per share and the investor still kicks in just 50,000, that means the investor only gets 25.
Oh, 25 or 20?
25,000.
25,000 share.
Yep. Instead of 100,000 like in the previous example.
Okay.
So that means that he only essentially owns 20% of the company.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of makes sense now. Once I saw this on the table, well, I guess I should have just made a table too.
Yeah. And this is the only way that I could ever understand this stuff.
Yeah, I originally did it different, but you followed pretty much the same pattern they did on the Harvard case, like the explanation of it, and it makes more sense this way.
Yeah, that's the only way I figured I could structure it and have it make sense. Because when I was looking at that Harvard study example, I was like, because I was reading through all of it, and I was like, I don't know what this means. I don't have a clue. And then I looked at the table, and I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Well, we appreciate you doing that because it does help to open. I mean, I didn't look at all that portion of it. I just I did the best I could to understand it and then make a decision based on it, which for me was convertible debt.
Yeah. So let's see, what was the next question? Oh, no. So let's see, I can't remember what I put here. So question 3 was, it was talking about the third, like the Series A round of investing, where she gets 300,000. So this last little section here.
Assuming Series is 300,000. $250 per share.
Hey, how did you do your math on the percent ownership?
So I took, I don't know if you can see up here, but it's, you take the total number of shares. So the founder has 100,000 shares, divided it by the total number of shares outstanding.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I need to add the bottom part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like if you go to the previous one, this one's easy to kind of see because obviously there's 200,000 shares. They each have 100,000, so 50% ownership. So I can't remember what it says. So number 3, assume Lexi and the angel agreed on $1 per share. Round.
$1 per share. Feed right now. What's your company? Okay,
so again, he's only investing $50,000. So at $1 per share, that's 50,000 shares. And then if you do that, again, he has 50,000 shares here. I'm trying to remember how I figured all this out.
And then the third. So the I guess let's just go over each question and then kind of because we're basically having to decide between two options, right?
Yeah.
Correct. It was between.
Yeah, I think our option is like either to take that $50,000 as like a 50 cents per share, or like make it a convertible, like take it as a convertible debt, right?
I don't know.
So create account.
I think that's what she's trying to decide. Like she wanted that, but she's like, well, she thought like 50 cents is like might be like too low for the company share, so that's what like she wanted to know.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got those two options, and then you have the option of convertible debt. And then trying to figure out which one like affects how many shares she has of the company. Because essentially, I think she's just trying to like maintain high ownership of the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah, go ahead.
I need to read it again.
So if the company is valued at 50 cents for the angel round,
Mm-hmm.
so after that round, she has 50% ownership.
Yeah.
Once she does her Series A investing, then it looks like her ownership goes down to 31%.
And that's from the original angel investing, then going down that low.
No, this would be after the $300,000 kicks in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Because after the angel, she's still at 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Potato Rock series, she goes down to 31%.
Yeah, because they kick in such a huge chunk of money. Granted, the per share is higher, so they only get 120,000 shares, but that's still a higher percent of the company.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, say here, if the company's, so for the angel round, if it's valued at $2 per share, obviously the company's worth more kind of for her, so she has 80%. And then once you kick in this round, then she has more ownership.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it would do her better if she did the what was it? The question 2. So
yeah.
she can still maintain 80%.
Yep.
Being around investing.
Yeah, the only issue I kind of had with that is, I mean, because the investor that she has right now is willing to pay 50 cents, like, can she find an investor who's willing to pay $2 per share? That would be my only question.
Yeah.
And if she does, then like perfect, that's great.
Did you take into account on that the 10% discount? Like where does that come into play?
That's on the convertible debt, which is, I did it over here, I think.
Oh, okay, that's why I was confused. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought I didn't see the tabs on the bottom. That makes
Which one? Wait, which one is the convertible debt? I'm sorry.
So this is the other chart for convertible debt.
Okay.
So the first round is the same. The second round, the angel guy kicks in $50,000. It's like a loan, so he doesn't get any shares. So she still has 100% ownership. But then when this guy does his investment, the Potato Rock Company or whatever, then the angel investor gets a 10% discount from that share. So he's still kicking in 50,000. It just now it converts to equity. So he gets shares, but only at this price, the discounted price.
Okay.
It was really, the convertible debt one was super confusing, to be honest, because I had to watch that YouTube video like a couple times to understand how it worked. So, I mean, under the convertible debt, she still has 41% ownership. And she gets a loan without any, without having to give up any shares for the angel round, which I think would be nice.
Okay, so you are more of a fan of convertible debt as opposed to the regular angel round investing. Then.
Yeah, because yeah. I mean, it kind of depends on how much she gets per share for the angel round. Because I mean, we kind of have three options. Like there's the 50 cents, which was the original offer. She thinks it's worth $2, which means after everything, she gets 41% ownership. And then the other example says that they value it or they make it like $1, which means she would only have 37%. So I can't remember what it said they like decided on.
I'm not sure that it actually had an ending to it, right? It was just
I don't
we
think so.
just kind of came up with our idea on that.
What do you have on the next tabs?
So this one is the convertible debt.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I think is, I personally think it's the best option because she doesn't give up any equity in this round. So if like her company doesn't do super well, then like she just owes this guy $50,000, like no big deal. And then if she does really well, she gets this other round of investing, then she still has 41% of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in question 3, it puts the value of the angel round at $1. And in that scenario, she would only have 37%.
All right.
I don't know if that all makes sense, but I poured over.
I don't know if you guys understand it. I'm sorry, I'm interrupted you guys. No, I'm just saying I'm not sure if you guys understand all that completely. I kind of get it. But I know that the main idea is we want to make sure that she has as much control of the company as she can, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the only reason I understand it is because I spent like an hour trying to figure this out last night.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would go with the convertible debt option just because she'll have more ownership. It's kind of safer from that perspective.
So can you explain me, like, if she gets the convertible debt, the only thing she owes the money and certain percent of interest to the angel investor?
So it's instead of like having to pay back the debt with interest, essentially what happens is once this next round occurs, then the loaner gets a 10% discount on the share price. So it's pretty much like interest, if you want to think it that way.
Instead of like getting interest money, they just get like 10% discount in the shares, and they can buy those shares.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, yeah, if you look at, so like here he's got 22,222 shares. In this case, can't remember which one it was. I think he had less shares. Maybe not. I think the convertible debt is probably bad for the loaner, but it's kind of safer. It's safer.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure, like, if it's like a beginning, like an angel investor, they probably want to have some equity in the company, right? Like, you just don't want to invest money.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if I was investing money, I would definitely look into getting equity in the company, because it's a brand new company and there's a possibility of growing and like other things.
Right.
But yeah.
So here's something I found interesting, and I don't know if I can change these numbers and have it work. But like, I remember it said that the person who issues the convertible debt, they actually want the company to be valued less, so that they get like a higher share of the company. So let's change this formula.
So the investors always want a lower valuation.
Yeah, the convertible debt investor. So like,
or any investor, like for that hand, like they want the valuation lower so they get more money.
Right.
For more equity for less money.
Oh, okay. I was like, why would they want that?
Yeah. So let's say in like this round here, because this guy's getting a discount, 10% discount. If the share price were only like $1.50, then his share price is $1.35, and his percent just got kicked up a bunch. Right?
Yeah.
Because this was before he was only at 9%, because initially it was valued at $2.50. If you bump that down to $1.50, then shares go up. So it really just depends on how much her company is valued at, which is kind of interesting. So, do you have any questions there?
I don't. Was there an actual list of questions like there usually is to kind of go over the case? Because I couldn't find that on there.
It's
in the case study.
It's a little different. I was just gonna say this week it's a little different. It's a kind of a weird case.
Yeah, really
I think we're going to have a question on the Word document we have in the case study.
Yeah, I mean, it says the discussion. It says share with the group what your answers were to the questions presented. So, and then discuss it. So that's pretty much all we have to do.
So we went through every single question already?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Huh. Okay.
Are you guys looking at the? I mean, are you guys looking at the questions right now or no?
On the case study, at the bottom of the case study, we kind of went through 1A and 1B. We went through 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 we can go over. We didn't really super hit on that because it says that they. So I guess it says that they agree on $1 per share.
Yeah, Lexi and Angela agreed on $1.
That's 1B you said?
That's
Number 3.
That's 3.
Okay.
So in question 3, if they're $1 per share, she has 37% ownership after the Series A investing.
Wait, where's question 3 on yours?
On my Excel sheet, or which question 3?
Question 3. Did you? So I guess I'm just confused where question 3 is on the Excel sheet that you have.
It's just at this bottom tab. It's the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing's right there.
Yeah.
I thought there was like a second part, like another tab with more work in it.
No, yeah, it's just this whole tab is question 3 pretty much.
Okay.
The only difference is that the $1 per share in the angel round is $1. Oh, sorry, I need to change this. $1. Then other than that, everything is the same as the first 2 questions. So then question 4 says create a capitalization table for Lexi's venture after raising her Series A funding with the following assumptions. So Lexi chooses 50,000 convertible debt. So I showed that here. So there's the debt. No shares were issued.
And so in number B, it says that the convertible debt carried 0% interest rate. What does that mean? Like, so there's no interest in that loan?
I guess
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it. Like, maybe you can have an interest rate with that debt, but this one doesn't.
I think it's just referring to like the discount rate. They're saying that they're just going to do. There will be no discount rate at 0%.
Yeah. And so then Lexi has her. So part C, she raises her 300,000 at $250 per share.
Oh, the debt will convert at 10% discount rate.
Yeah. Meaning angel investor will convert her debt into equity.
So that would mean that they're receiving 120 shares, right? 120,000.
Yeah, 120,000.
The debt will convert at a 10% discount.
Yeah, so the way I understood that is that $50,000 initial loan then converts to equity, but at 10% less than the Series A share value of $250.
So that same $50,000 will convert into the equity, right?
Yeah, there's no interest or anything like that. That money didn't disappear or anything. It was just I guess used by the company. It's kind of weird to think about it.
So oh, I see what it's saying. Okay.
And then number 5, how does the convertible debt affect Lexi's ownership share of her firm? How is Angel's share affected?
Well, I don't know. Since he has to give back that debt as equity, do you think that will make difference? I mean, I don't know.
So I think compared to her other options, so like let's say she didn't use the convertible debt, which like in question 3 it says they're going to decide on $1 per share.
Yeah.
If she does that, then she only has 37% ownership after the Series A investing. If she uses convertible debt, then it looks like she has 41%. So I think hers is higher. The angel investors is lower. This guy stays the same, I think. Oh, just kidding. He doesn't. His is lower.
Where did you include the 10% discount in this?
Just in the price per share right here. So like, it's I think the way I understand, again, I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing this correctly. I wasn't totally sure about it, but I think it just says that like, you get a 10% discount off of the per share price when it converts to equity. So this is 10% off of 250, and then I just did 50,000 divided by 250 or 225 to get the total share amount.
All right.
Is it possible for you to send us that Excel sheet?
Sure. Yeah, I can send it to you, and then you guys can kind of just mess around with the formulas and stuff. And
I just want to make sure I know that like I'm doing it right. I just don't want to learn it wrong, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, if you guys see anything like wrong while you're doing it, like let me know, because this one was the area where I'm not sure if I did it right.
The part that I don't see is the 10% discount you're getting, because they would get more shares at that point. Like the number would be higher, I think.
The share
amount of
number?
Yeah.
Like you think this one would be higher? Yeah, I didn't know. That was the only way
because
I
they
knew
would
about this.
be getting more shares for the same amount of money. They'd be getting 10% more shares. No, I don't think it's it's a 10% discount.
Yeah.
So
the way I think I understood it is like at this moment in time, because this company, this Potato Rock investors valued the company at $250 per share, then like at that moment in time, the per share value is $250. So they get a 10% discount off of that share value, which converts their 50,000 into shares at that value.
So they get 50,000 shares times, and the price would be cheaper. It would be 10% off of 250.
So it will be 10% off, like 250, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that'll be like 230. What it'll be like?
225.
Yeah.
Or 225. Okay.
$25.
Yeah, and then I just, because that's the share value that like the angel is now getting, I convert their $50,000 into shares. So $50,000 divided by 225 share price equals 222,222 shares. But yeah, I could totally send this to you guys, and you can kind of mess around with it and see.
Yeah, I think that would be good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna recreate mine and then compare it to yours at the end, and then see if it all adds up.
Yeah, to be honest, like use it if you have to, but it really helps. Like it helped me to understand the concept as I was creating it.
Yeah.
So I would try it on your own first, and then if you need to.
This was my bad because I didn't read the that we were gonna go over these answers.
Right.
So like I read the case and I watched the video and all that, but I wasn't prepared to like say like, hey, here's my answers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, I just like Excel stuff, so I just wanted to make it to see what happened.
All right.
So I'll send that out to you guys, and so you guys can see what's going on.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Sweet. Nice work, team.
And then if you guys have any other questions on it, I can send out my Excel sheet later if you guys want it. What I think, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be great. So, I mean, if you send your Excel, so we have like something to compare with, I think that'll be helpful.
I can do that, and I bet you it's going to be the same.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Cool. Okay. So I mean, if there's no questions, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll stop the broadcast.